Hello Steelers and welcome to this bench report, this hobby update. I missed last week because the week before work was pretty mad and I was all over the country, so I just didn't get anything painted. So I thought, well, there's not much point in doing an update really, is there, if I haven't got anything? So yeah, I kind of left it. This week I've managed to paint quite a few things, but I'm just going to say here and now, this might be the last hobby update for a little while. That is simply because we are in the process of packing up the war room at the moment. You might be able to see some empty shelves behind me because we are getting both the war room and the bedroom plastered over the next week or so. So it's going to take a little while for that to get done, and then also of course for it to dry out, and then probably even start redecorating. So it's going to be a little while before I'm able to move back in properly. I'm going to set up a temporary desk and things like that, but whether I get to do any actual painting or anything is a different matter. It's kind of having to go to the bottom of the pile at the moment. Also, it means as well, all my stuff is going to go in storage. So it's going to be, I'm going to put, I've basically paid for a storage room here in the town, and I'm going to be putting most of my wargaming stuff in there, so I'll probably not really have access to it. Probably be able to get to it at some point, but if I'm going to be playing any games, it's going to be down to somebody else to supply the stuff for me. So Dex, if you are listed, then that is you, my friend. But at the moment, yeah, so basically everything is going to be stuck away for a little while, paints and everything. So I'm looking at the next couple of weeks radio silence from a hobby update perspective. I've got a few videos that I will put out, or at least, you know, the usual schedule of a Friday night video. So there's still a couple of things going to be coming out here and there, but it just means that there's going to be a little break in the hobby updates. But that said, actually over the last couple of weeks, I know the week before last was very busy, but last week I was able to actually sit down and finish off some of the things that I'd started the week before. And the first of these was the 1st Battalion of the 6th Infantry Regiment of the Prussians. So I've gone back to the line infantry, having done a couple of Landwehr units and one line unit as well. So I've gone, but this is the second of I think there's probably about 6 or so in the starter box that I've got. So these are just another line unit for the Prussians. Again, I'm trying to break up the different units as I go along, just to keep it interesting on my part, if nothing else. And then also I painted my first Prussian cavalry as well, and this is the 1st Elbe Landwehr cavalry as well. So these guys have all got sticks. Now what I've done is I checked out how many actual figures you get in a box, and I think there's quite a number. But I decided if I make up the cavalry regiments of 12 figures each, I can actually spread them out a little bit and get quite a little bit more out of the box, rather than the I think the recommended number that they give you on the box itself. So instead of putting 5 figures on the cavalry units, I've only put 4. They look a little bit thinner, but they certainly, you know, it's going to spread out the number of figures that I've got. So that's kind of how I'm going to go forward with it. I'm trying to rationalise it a little bit more than I did when I started the British and the French stuff, because I didn't really know what I was doing there with the numbers and things. I just ended up with lots of spare figures that I was using as aide-de-camps. I'm going to try to cut that down as much as possible with the Prussians this time around. And then, completely and utterly at a right angle of all of that, I went out and painted up some Vietnamese peasants, which Dean had very kindly given me. He got quite a few figures left over from a 7 Samurai project that he was doing, and these included some of the Peter Pig Vietnamese peasants. I realised when we played Men of Company B that I needed a few more bases of these, so I quickly put 4 of these together. I didn't really have to do much with these. Dean had already painted them, but they were slightly chipped, so I just went back and I just painted them in my style, which was quite nice actually, because he'd already painted them in various civilian colours, and I don't really like painting civilians because you've always got to think about what the colours they're going to be. When I'm painting uniforms, it's dead easy, you just paint the uniform, but when you're painting civilians, like, you know, somebody's wearing a red shirt, somebody's wearing a blue shirt, you've got to keep changing about your different things. But because Dean had already kind of done the base work on these, it was quite a lot easier. So I just quickly put those together, and they'll be very useful. And speaking of Men of Company B, Dex also, speaking of Dex, he also told me that that Warbases actually do a full set of their tokens for Men of Company B. These are very nice, came very quickly as always from Warbases, so thanks guys if you're watching. These are you get, I think, about 40 tokens in total. You can get them in MDF a little bit cheaper, but yeah, go and check those out if you need them, and they are pretty useful. They've got every token you need for Men of Company B, so that was really nice. Also, last weekend as well, another reason I didn't do a hobby update is because it was my birthday. It was actually on Monday, but I kind of just wanted the weekend to have a little bit of a break of doing things. So it was my birthday on Monday, and I got various bits and pieces for my birthday, as you always do. A couple of things I got were these books. The first one is Norman Stone's The Eastern Front, 1914 to 17. Quite a short book. I think it's from the 70s, so it's probably a little old now, but I'm looking forward to piling into that, just as a bit of an introductory text to the Eastern Front of the First World War. Something I know very, very little about. I've got a basic idea of some of the main battles and things, but nothing that I've actually read in any depth, so I'm looking forward to that. The second one was Reign of Ruin by Richard Overy. This is the Tokyo, Hiroshima and the surrender of Japan. So it's literally the bombing campaign against the Japanese. And Jim, I've never said your surname out loud, so I think it's Makazulo. I'm not sure. If I've pronounced it wrong, Jim, I apologise. Has pointed me to a lecture that Richard Overy did about the book, so I've been watching that over the last week as well. Really interesting stuff, and I'm looking forward to diving into this one. And again, it's a relatively short book. It's only about 180 pages or so long, so that shouldn't take too long to read. But again, just to get a nice, interesting background on that campaign and the very end of the war in the Pacific over there. And then finally, it was also our wedding anniversary, myself and my wife, obviously, and she got me a bronze Napoleon coin. This was to celebrate Napoleon's advance into Berlin, I think. I can't really read the back of it, but yeah, very nice, really interesting little, lovely little present, because it was our bronze anniversary. So thank you very much, Claire, if you do watch this. I don't know if you do, but yeah, brilliant, really nice, and completely surprised me as well with that. Really good. Over the last week or so, we've had bits of a heat wave as well here in the UK. So myself and my wife sat outside and we played a game of Pandemic. But it's a game that we've not played for quite a few years. What's interesting is we actually beat it, and we beat it relatively easy. In the past, we played quite a lot. I mean, we're only playing on easy mode. We played it quite a lot and we've got beaten by the game. But I think we've kind of clicked on the game, and also having played lots of other games as well since then, working out strategies and things like that, we've quite easily beat it. It was over in only a few turns, because you kind of know what the mechanics are, you know what's coming up, you know where to go and what to do and what to nail down. But yeah, it was a good game. It was interesting to play again. I'd like to play it again on a harder setting, just to see if we can keep up the winning streak. But yeah, I think we're well past the easy mode of it at this point. And we also played King of Tokyo as well, which is a game my wife had bought me many, many years ago. For various reasons, we just never actually had a chance to play it. It's pretty interesting, pretty simple, fun game of monsters smashing up cities. It's a dice rolling game. You basically roll some dice, you decide to keep some dice, you can re-roll the dice you don't want to keep, and then you can also re-roll the dice that you did want to keep if you get different results. And the results obviously give you either points or power-ups and that kind of thing. Very fun game. It's one of those things, I think this is one of those games where it would be much more fun with 3 or 4 players, because you're all fighting against one another rather than just being 2 players against one kind of thing. But yeah, good fun game, and something we will definitely go back to, I think, and play a few more of. Also, I played on my birthday a game of Force on Force again with Dean. This was the Mexican cartel scenario that we played at the club a couple of weeks ago, with Dex this time. So Dean and I played this, and I did film it, and it is currently being edited as I speak, so that will come out at some point in the future. Don't know when, several months in the future, but it will come out if I can get it edited as soon as before things get plastered and my computer's put away. But yeah, it was a good game again. I've still got these similar ideas about it. I mentioned, I prefer to use it as a D6 system, where you just have, numbers of dice instead of the dice themselves being the critical factor. Somebody went off in the comments about that. listen, I'm not trying to change your game. If you want to change the game, change the game. They're your rules. Do what you want with them. If you don't want to, play the game rules as written. It was just literally a comment on the game and how I felt about it. But we had fun. I won just. It was more out of sheer brutality rather than actually getting the narcotics, but it was a good game, it was good fun, and it was a bit of a learning game for both of us as well. It's a system that, yeah, I'll certainly go back to, but as I say, I've said before, I'm not fussed about investing in it, but if Dean wants to put it on and play it down the club anytime, I will play it. I'm still, ambivalent about the different dice for the different units, but that's just me, really. I like simplicity in my life. And then also last weekend as well, you will have seen it by now. It was a Joy of Six. I did a video, that's why you will have seen it, because I did a video report of it. I managed to get around all the tables this time. And it's a great little show with lots of little men in there. It was great to see loads of people, and a lot of people came up and said hello, which I really appreciated. I just want to say that, kind of, if you do see me at a show, do come up and say hello. I'm always happy to have a chat and stuff. And it's nice making these videos can be quite lonely. Sometimes, I'm just talking to a camera. I will then, edit it, spend my time editing it, and then I'll just send it out in the world. And the only time I ever really see feedback is when you get the likes, but they're all anonymized. But also, when people comment and things on the video. But apart from that, that's pretty much about the only interaction you ever get. So it's really nice just to have people come up and say, hello, that they're a viewer, or they like something, or they didn't like something even on the videos on other channels. So yeah, I really appreciate it. So for the people that did come and say hello, thank you, and I will say hello to you again next time I see you. And the other thing as well that happened this week was I was recording an interview with Paul over at the Pazut channel. Go and check his channel out. I will put a link for it in the description down below. I've already appeared on his channel before on the Salute panel, and he came over specifically to actually record a few interviews. One of them about my background in wargaming, another one about my job, and then also another one with Dean about our favourite 5 wargaming things as well. So I'm not sure when that'll be out, but of course when it does come out I will put links to it. I'll put a post here on YouTube, and also on the Facebook page, and where else as well, wherever else I am on the social media. So wait for that, and that will come out at some point. So as I say, this is a relatively short one, just wrapping up some things. Don't expect to see much over the next few weeks, simply, as I say, because we are packing up at the moment and things are going to be upside down for a little while. I will try and get some videos out over the next few weeks, so there is still things coming. I've got quite a backlog going back to about January at this point, but there will be things coming along. So just keep an eye out for that stuff, and I will see you in the next Storm of Steel video.